The date is September 1st, 2021. There hasn't been sunshine in weeks, and there have been storms every other day. Today it was just starting to be different. The sun was shining only for a little while, and everyone was hopeful for the upcoming school year. But then the clouds roll in, dark and gray. The wind begins to pick up, and the sun goes away. Then you look off in the distance and see it. A massive tornado, nearly a quarter of a mile wide, is heading directly towards your home, and you're sitting right there, looking through the window. What would you do in this situation? Sadly, this wouldn't just be a hypothetical for hundreds of people. This is the story of the Mullica Hill EF-3 tornado, likely the strongest tornado in New Jersey's history. Hurricane Ida, a Category 4 major hurricane, has just struck the Gulf Coast, killing over 120 when it smashed into southern Louisiana, leaving all but destruction in its wake. Since then, the remnants of the tropical storm have left astonishing rainfall and flooding in the northeastern United States. Within this time, it had also spawned at least 36 tornadoes in multiple states. The number is likely higher. Maryland and Pennsylvania have so far seen the worst of the flooding and tornadoes. New York and New Jersey would receive existential flooding, and multiple weak tornadoes would be spawned. As the storm moved, a low-level jet culminating with a southern warm front and a very warm, moist atmosphere along with sufficient surface heating led to a very unstable and high-risk atmosphere for severe storms. The Storm Prediction Center had put an enhanced risk for tornadoes in southern New Jersey, Pennsylvania, northern Maryland, and all of Delaware. It would soon become a 10% risk for tornadoes in the aforementioned area, unheard of in the region. On this day alone, 8 tornadoes were confirmed by the National Weather Service, one of them being the Mullica Hill tornado. Mullica Hill is a small town in southern New Jersey, with a population slightly over 4,000. Tornado watches and warnings have been issued many times in the area over the past couple of years and even weeks. But little did the people living there know their lives were about to be turned upside down in a matter of hours. Now, there's something you have to understand about New Jerseyans. Many of them have a very "that doesn't happen around here" mindset when it comes to tornadoes. Many of them think of tornadoes as being an out west thing, or something that doesn't happen in the hills that New Jersey has. But tornadoes have climbed hills before, and they were about to do it again. Around 5 p.m., a tornado warning was issued for Mercer, Middlesex, Morris, and Somerset counties, with being scheduled to end around 6:30. When the tornado warning was issued, many people simply decided not to heed it and continue on with their normal lives. They thought that it would just be another false alarm and a storm that would pass. But at around 6 o'clock, the clouds started darkening even further, and a wall cloud could be seen off in the distance. Radars show a very large supercell with very pronounced hook echo. As the clouds churned, many people were now watching the news, tuning in to see if there were any updates.
Over Mullica Hill.
Okay, all right, here we go. I have it. Severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado. So this is radar indicated. Is over Mullica Hill right now, 14 miles southwest of Gloucester City, moving northeast at 40 miles per hour. So the tornado warning does continue.
An increasing number of people were beginning to get worried as they were scanning the sky for anything they could see. And then it happened. At around 6:10 p.m., a small weak tornado had dropped somewhere around here. It initially caused very minor tree damage and was likely an EF-0. But as it moved northwest near Cedar Grove, the tree damage would become more significant. It would first strike the Willow Oak subdivision at the northeast edge of Cedar Grove. Multiple structures would sustain significant structural damage, with roofs being ripped off, exterior walls collapsing, and vehicles being thrown hundreds of feet. In one house, a family of 5 is watching the tornado right in front of them, yet it is hard to believe what they are looking at is a tornado. To them, it just looks like a dark cloud. But once they hear the sound of the blender-like funnel, they immediately run to the basement. They huddle there for a couple of seconds, and before they know it, their entire house is collapsing in on them, and they are right below the massive tornado. When they later crawl out of their basement, climbing over debris, they realize that the entire house has crumbled, leaving only one wall standing. This is the first instance of EF-3 damage, but it won't be the last. By now, the tornado had a very visible debris cloud on radar and was still moving northeast towards Winona. The tornado would briefly weaken as it impacted a commercial farm along Route 77, destroying multiple barns at EF-2 strength. It would quickly increase in strength and width as it struck Salvatore Lane and Clem's Run. It would strike this area at peak strength, completely leveling several houses to the foundation. By now, news had come out about a possible tornado, so people ran outside to get video and know when to seek shelter. This is some of the greatest tornado footage shot in New Jersey for the conditions it was in.
This is all the aftermath, basically, the hurricane that got down south. It's huge. See? Oh my god. Wow. Yeah.
It's gonna cross right there. There it is, sir. Yep, close to the road. Get the power line. Yeah, that's not the power. It's not the power. There it is.
Here it is. There's the center of it. It's awesome. Everything's all quiet around here. Everything's shelter, I guess.
In this video, a man and his dog are sitting in his house near Salvatore Lane. Little did he know, he and his house were in the direct path of this tornado. He begins to run to the basement. You can hear glass breaking before the power goes out. Then, afterwards, you can hear the freight train sound of the tornado as it moves away from him.
Come on, downstairs. Basement. Basement, let's go. Come on, come on, come on. Get out of there. Stay, stay. Get down. Holy shit. Holy shit. Stay, stay, come. Holy fuck. Look at me. Holy shit. Holy. Stay, Cubby. Stay. No, no. Get upstairs. Holy shit. Holy fuck. Oh my god. Holy shit.
Luckily, he escaped with his life, along with his dog. Not far down the road, Kathy and her 2 children are waiting by the window to see if anything is happening outside. The kids decide to go to the basement, and Kathy, wanting to be a good role model, goes down with them. Yet across the street, their neighbors, one of whom is pregnant, begin banging on the door, attempting to reach safety from the oncoming tornado. They are soon let in and all run to the basement. As they are hiding under the stairs, they hear it. The destructive sound of the now wedged tornado as it completely levels the house. The tornado is now over 400 yards wide, nearly a quarter of a mile, and with a maximum wind speed of 150 miles per hour. To put that into perspective, the tornado was now double the size of the majority of tornadoes, about 6 city blocks. All in the house would survive with minor injuries, except for the pregnant woman, who had to go to the hospital for an injury on her foot. Security cam footage shows the moment of impact from a house around the corner. Video of the massive wedge begins circulating on the internet, this one showing a shower of debris as the tornado annihilates the town of Mullica Hill.
All right, large tornado on the ground. Large tornado on the ground. Large tornado. Large tornado. Oh my God. Oh crap! Holy crap! Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God! Large destructive tornado on the ground! Large destructive tornado on the ground! Oh my God!
By now, the tornado was a massive wedge and completely rain-wrapped, making it practically invisible. The only way to know it was there was the debris and blue power flashes on the ground. Enhancing the contrast truly shows how large this tornado was. At the same time, on Josephine Lane, a resident, Troy, his wife, and their 2 daughters sought refuge in their basement when they got the tornado warning. Within seconds, their house began to collapse on top of them, with the daughters under their mother, under her husband. All they could do was wait until it was over. When the wind ceased, they emerged from their basement to see their home destroyed, with multiple other houses on the same street suffering the same fate. She, along with many others in Mullica Hill, were stunned. Neighbors would describe the scene as a war zone. By now, the tornado had a very narrow wind path, almost leading to selective damage, with some homes being completely flattened and others just a few feet away left completely untouched. It was obliterating everything in its path. Cars being tossed around like toys, tree limbs flying around like paper, and debris being sucked up, flying thousands of feet high, and landing in trees and fields hundreds of miles away. It would even rip up the ground in a process called ground scouring, only seen in some of the most violent of tornadoes. This wall of destruction would cross US 377, maintaining its strength and impact the state's largest dairy farm, leaving it in absolute ruins. The tornado would plow through Raccoon Creek and Edwards Run, where the worst tree damage would be inflicted, snapping nearly every tree at its base. By now, the funnel was almost completely invisible, shrouded in rain and debris. The tornado would weaken to F2 status as it mangled trees and ripped off the walls and roof of multiple houses. It would maintain its strength as it entered the 3rd town of Winona, destroying commercial greenhouses and multiple other structures, including a fire station. After clearing Woodbury Creek, the tornado would gradually weaken and dissipate in Deptford around 6:30 p.m. The tornado was on the ground for approximately 20 minutes. It had carved a path of 12.37 miles and had reached a maximum width of 400 yards, or 370 meters. Half an hour later, another strong, destructive tornado would form, headed directly for the Pennsylvania Trenton area. The National Weather Service in Mount Holly would issue the first ever tornado emergency in the northeastern seaboard for Trenton and the surrounding areas, the rarest of all weather alerts. These all culminated into being known as the Hurricane Ida tornado outbreak. History was made that day, but the things that can't be forgotten about are the stories of the people who survived that day. Incredibly, no fatalities were reported and only 2 injuries would be surveyed. It was the costliest tornado in New Jersey history, with over $64 million in damages. In the end, whole communities came together, and multiple states would pitch in. Governor Phil Murphy would travel to Mullica Hill and give a very powerful speech. In the end, nearly 30 homes were destroyed, and over 100 would receive at least partial damage. Over 38 tornadoes would spawn from the remnants of Hurricane Ida. Both New York and New Jersey would declare a state of emergency as flooding would continue to get worse, and in 2021 would be the wettest year on record for New Jersey since 1895. Multiple lessons can be learned from this event. Tornadoes can occur anywhere on the planet. They can climb hills and destroy anything in their path. Global warming is increasing the likelihood of tornadoes worldwide, making it essential to heed weather warnings and be prepared for extreme weather conditions. It is crucial to know what to do and where to go during such events. Lowest floor, interior rooms, no windows, no bathtubs, because it is only a matter of time before the next one. Stay safe out there.